A hearty good morning to all. From our English Reader course book, I'll explain a lesson for you today. So turn page number 81. In our page number 81, we have lesson 7, Across 3 Millennia. Across 3 Millennia is a sensational cyber story. The author, Emily Smith, is an English children's writer. Her books are aimed at young readers. Her writings are mainly for young corgi books and orchard books. Now, let us have some talkings about the term millennia. Okay? Millennia is a period or cycle of 1000 years. It could be known as kiloyear. Alright? In this lesson, two stories are described from one side to the other of a period or cycle of 3000 years. First story is of Lalda, an astronaut, and the second story is of Philip, a desperate. Both the stories are moving together side by side on their own particular tracks in complete harmony. Okay? So, let's start from Lalda's story. Welcome to the story of Lalda. Before laying the foundations of the story, let us talk about the characters. There are only two characters in the story. First is Lalda and second is Brill. Okay? Lalda is a smart astronaut and Brill's assistant. Brill is a smart astronaut who enforces the rules. The setting of the story is in the future in a spaceship called the CMF-22. The story is after the death of Brill. Okay? Lalda and Brill had worked together in a spaceship. Alright? Now, Lalda is missing her. She missed the sound of human voice. For a few seconds, she is calm and recalls her 7 years of training at space. Today, she is alone and she has to control the spaceship. Alright? So, let us get into the event. Lalda was on a very important mission. She sat at the console of CMF-22. She ran through the control system and checked it out whether they were all working well or not. Then she looked at the 6 screens of stars studied, but the 5th one had a glow at the edge. She gazed the sun, then checked the temperature of the spaceship. She came to know that her spaceship was on course straight for the sun. Now, the time came for the decision whether she should trust the autopilot direction or override the system and change course. The autopilot and the navigator drive well. When she checked the scanner, the brightness of the sun was stronger than ever. She observed that the sun was bigger. Alright? Now, with her heart racing, she came to know that the CMF-22 was leading towards the sun. Right away, she started to do all the checks again. She worked as hard as she could, but there was no sign of malfunction anyway. The console was telling Lalda that everything was okay. In spite of the information, Lalda didn't wait, for she knew at some point the radiation of the sun would start to affect the function of the spaceship. She wondered she should take over and fly the spaceship herself, but CMF-22 was the most reliable spaceship in the universe. She had a little doubt in herself, but trust her own instincts. So, what did she do? She made her decisions and pressed the startup button. Lalda started controlling the spaceship and awaited the sun. Alright? There was a beeping noise on the control panel and she glanced up the lights. Lalda was relieved as she looked at the screen. The world of space was hers. Now, let us get into Philip's story. Once again, welcome back to the lesson across 3 millennia and the story of Philip. Before getting into the story, let us talk about the characters. There are 3 characters in the story. First is Philip, second is Simon, and third is Cleon. Okay? Philip is a smart, desperate, and hungry man. Simon is a smart architect, and Cleon is a wise Philip's instructor. The setting of this story is the temple worksite in ancient Greece. Philip, a young man who requires a job, is very nervous because his family is beginning to starve. Cleon knows the family of Philip. Philip is sitting under a fig tree on a very hot day, gazing at the abacus. As before our tests or interviews, we are revising or practicing our learnings. Same like that. Alright? Then what happens? Simon and Cleon arrive talking about the temple. Philip looks at them with hoping eyes. Okay? Then Simon asks Philip, is he the very person looking for a job? Philip says, yes, sir. Simon is supposed to say, why should Philip be chosen for the job? Okay? On the other side, Philip is nervous, as sometimes we get nervous seeing the question papers during our tests or interviews like that. Okay? So, let us get into the event. Simon was deciding what he should ask Philip, and Philip was trying to calm himself for the first few minutes. Now, Simon told Philip to calculate 350 plus 75. Okay? Philip started his work. He calculated the equation on the abacus with ease and got the correct answer. How much answer did he get? 425. Isn't it? Then Simon gave him a subtraction question. 6,000 minus 1,555. Okay. Now Philip went to work again and replied with confidence that he got 4,445. Simon nodded yes. He gave Philip the last equation to solve. 5,000 minus 5. Now Philip started fiddling with all the beads. He finished and looked at the result. What was that? 4,895? You know, he was about to say, but something made him stop and think. He thought, that couldn't be right. But how? The abacus could never be wrong. Like these thoughts were hammering his head. His head was buzzing with doubt. He made his decision and said 4995 means 4,995. Okay. Simon was observing every action and reaction of Philip. For on the ground, beside his bare feet, were two halves of a bead one would find on an abacus. To examine Philip, it was his duty to know Philip as a whole, isn't it? So he examined Philip's right decision, his effort, and honesty. Like this, Philip was employed by Simon. Alright? So, in our first story, Lalda had to make her own decision to control the spaceship herself. By taking over and controlling the spaceship, she evaded the sun. And in the second story, when Philip was using the abacus, he trusted his own instincts to say the right answer, and that very answer led him to get a job. Like this, our lesson is over. Till then, keep on learning. Take care. Thank you.